Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Tennova Healthcare. Cancer prevention, cancer detection, diagnosis, and recovery. Tennova offers a full spectrum of programs dedicated to saving lives from cancer. Visit Tennova.com to learn more about their cancer prevention and cancer treatment, the kind of cancer treatment that Tennova provided for me. I can't say much more about them than that. They do wonders for me and my family. Tennova Healthcare, I trust them literally with my life. Tennova.com. I hope you'll check them out as well. Three quick hitters here on Tennessee football. I'll start with Josh Ward. We talked a little bit about recruits being in town. It was a big weekend for official visits. I asked you to narrow it down to 4 or 5 guys that you would circle in red ink in terms of being important. Let's take a look here at who you had me list. If we've got these visitors in the spotlight. There we go. Josh, run through some of these cats for me.
Yeah, quarterback J.T. Shrout from California. He's a guy, pro-style quarterback. He threw the ball a ton this year, his senior year in high school. He's committed to Cal. During the summer, he started to get a good amount of attention, and he's so important to this class, or the position itself is, because this week Michael Penix decommitted. That looked like it was Tennessee's choice, and then Adrian Martinez switched to Nebraska. That was his choice. So Tennessee went from 2 to no quarterback commitments in this class, so J.T. Shrout absolutely worth watching. Jacob Copeland, he's one of the very highly touted players. As you see, a 4-star guy according to Rivals and 24/7. He was one of the players that immediately tweeted after Jeremy Pruitt was hired, hey, Tennessee's one of my top schools because of Jeremy Pruitt. So a guy from down in Florida that is in town this weekend and could potentially help Tennessee right away on the offensive side. Here's one that has Tennessee fans very excited. Elijah Griffin. He is a UCLA commit. He is the son of Warren G. So yes, he could be a regulator in this class.
That's why I want him here. Yeah.
Yes. 4-star guy according to both sides. And Tennessee needs help at corner. They have 3 seniors that are leaving. Rashawn Galton also with the decision to make. They need depth there. So a very highly touted player and very cool. Running back Jeremy Banks. He is from Cordova. He's one of the new offers from Tennessee's staff, and he has a teammate, Jerome Carvin, who is also considering Tennessee on the offensive line. So Tennessee would love to put together a package deal here. So Tennessee looking for running back help. He's a bigger back, kind of shows a difference in the approach with this staff compared to the previous staff, a 3-star, 4-star guy, and an in-state guy. And then tight end Dominique Wood-Anderson. He represents a lot of the visitors this weekend. There are 4 guys from Arizona Western Community College here. He's one of them. They were tweeting out pictures together, the Yuma 4. So Dominique Wood-Anderson, one of the top tight end prospects from the junior college ranks. They need help at that position as well. And they have a lot of JUCO guys that are here at tight end, offensive line, running back, and Greg Bell. So a lot of JUCO guys that Tennessee is going after.
All right, I tell you what, I'm going to throw out some questions here, and everybody can jump in if you want them. I'll just try and keep us quick if we can, but everybody can tackle these. Tennessee has lost a number of commitments, as we just discussed. They're down to 10. They're currently ranked number 61 in the Rivals rankings. Now, some of those decommitments, as Josh mentioned, were guys that Tennessee told, you're not going to fit here. One of those, apparently, was quarterback Michael Penix out of Tampa. And the issue there is his coach is not really pleased because apparently Jeremy Pruitt called him and said scholarship offers will be honored. And then 5 days later, another member of the staff, Ty Hilton, calls his quarterback, Penix, and says, yeah, you don't need to come up for your official visit. We've got other guys who fit our system better. Look, it's one of those things where to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. There's nothing nice and clean about recruiting. It's dirty in every aspect. I can't stand it. That said, do you have a problem with the way that was handled? I'll start with you, Bob. Anybody else can jump in.
I have a big problem with it because it would have simply been easier just to call the guys you've got committed, say, hey, look, we're in the process of getting our hands around all this stuff. Just wait by and see. And then if you think he doesn't fit us, we don't need him, we can't work with him for whatever reason, then you say, look, go ahead and reopen your commitment. But to call him and say you're in and then say you're out, I think that's a bad look for a very, very new staff in their first very, very few days of being on the job.
Mike, your thoughts?
I don't have a problem at all with them saying you don't fit our system, you're better off going somewhere else, because it's December. He's got all the way to February.
Right. But don't call him and say.
Yeah, that's the weird part. Don't. Yeah. If that's the way it went down, why call him and say you're in?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where it gets bad. Colleges are going to change their minds about guys, just like guys change their minds about colleges. But to do that, to call him and say you're good, I mean, you cost him a week of that December when somebody else could have been talking to him and he'd been talking to somebody else.
Josh, these kind of things happen. I think there was an Atlanta high school that told Steve Spurrier, you in South Carolina no longer welcome here a few years ago, and that kind of stuff. I don't think much of it sticks to a coach. Do you think this can stick to a new staff? One guy is upset. We're talking about one coach here. Do you think that's kind of creating a bad reputation for a staff, or does everybody know at this point, they pretty much all do this stuff? Where are you on this?
I think it's really just an unfortunate part of recruiting. And there's no way to spin this story, I don't think, in a positive manner.
It looks good,
yeah. I mean, it's just not going to look good when you have a guy that's been committed for so long. And his plan has been to enroll in just a few weeks in school. And he does have some other good options. In the end, I think you want the coaches to be honest with the players. Now, were they immediately? Probably not. They're bringing the coaches together. Tennessee still hasn't even announced these staff members, so they're bringing all this together. I mean, it's not a and you have the early signing period. You're going to have some guys that jump ship, so you're going to have more of these ugly stories, I'd say, around the country with a lot of schools.
That's a pretty good lead in terms of not announcing staff.
Yeah.
Word came out this week that Tennessee had lured Austin Thomas away from LSU. His title at LSU was GM, General Manager. That's a pro title, so who the heck knows what that means. He was kind of in head of their recruiting and did a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff in terms of football ops. It was just a title. So anyway, he's supposed to come up here. He started his career at Tennessee under Philip Fulmer in 2008. He was recruiting assistant, and then he stayed on under Lane Kiffin in 2009 before leaving. He does a great job of recruiting for LSU in the mid-state, so everybody's hurrah, hurrah. Yesterday it comes out that okay, well, maybe he's not done. Maybe he's not really coming here because no deal has been signed. You also, he wasn't on campus yesterday apparently for this recruiting weekend. There's talk that he's out recruiting elsewhere. So now the question is, what happened? Reports that it could be he's upset with the title, or he thought he was getting one title and they tried to give him another one. The responsibilities aren't all he thought they were going to be. Either way, you had Philip Fulmer, Jeremy Pruitt, and Austin Thomas involved, and they're not connecting. Anything to worry about at this point, or is it just way too early to start getting your feathers ruffled by anything?
It is never way too early to worry. I mean, if you're a UT football fan, I mean, you got to worry about every little thing because you've got to go back for the past decade of how little things ended up being much bigger things.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would be a little bit worried just about the communication triangle that you had going on there. And how did it work? We may never know. But that is the problem with me. How was it? And stories like this, how do they get out, by the way? You know, that's something else. You need to be working on controlling your message a little bit as well.
Mike, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a little concerning if you've got, if it came down to Philip Fulmer said maybe one thing to him and Jeremy Pruitt said another thing. Now, I don't know that that's what happened, but if it is, that would be a concern.
Josh, we were talking before the show. There's already been some, we don't need Austin Thomas now.
Right.
Which is kind of funny because as of 3 days ago, this is the move that's going to push everybody over the top.
Right. Yeah, a few days ago it's a great hire. Well, if it's a great hire 3 days ago, wouldn't it be a big miss if you don't get him? Now, it doesn't mean you shut down the program, but like the worry meter, I think it's almost like your thermostat. You just turn it down or up. I don't think you turn it off. I don't think you turn the worry system off. Adrian Martinez, the quarterback, he decommits, and, we had a shoulder injury. We don't really want him. Well, Jeremy Pruitt did because he flew out to California to recruit him. So it's something that you'll just have to overcome.
I heard your interview with Adrian Martinez. I wanted him here just to hear him interview.
I didn't like having him on the show because he made me look bad. He's better talking than I am.
All right. Well, we got to catch a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more Tennessee basketball. Mark Pancrat's going to be doing a little diagramming of the board, show you exactly what you can expect to see when you're watching the game this afternoon at 3 o'clock from Thompson Bowling Arena, where Sterling Hinton's going to be DJing. He wanted me to point that out. I just got a text from him. Come on back on the Sports Source.